money for nothing, just for free.
Hey guys, how's it going? I wanted to make a little preview video of the portfolio coming up and revisit a couple of past picks we had in April that I think are buys again. First up is the Evolving Skies ETB. Originally picked this in April around 240. We went up to around 350 fairly quickly, but it kind of retraced a little bit since then. At that time, I thought $400 would be fair value. We still haven't gotten to that point, and now I think $500 would be fair value. And there's two versions. You get this Glaceon one, and then the other one's the Leafeon, Umbreon, Flareon. Looks like this one's going for a little bit more expensive. There's 45 on the market too. So there's 75 between both types of ETBs. Just get whatever you prefer. The Umbreon doesn't seem to be carrying a premium on this ETB compared to the other ETB. So if you like the other ETB, go with that. I've been tracking the price of these, and they pretty much go along with each other. One doesn't seem to outperform the other one. All right. I also wanted to look at Fusion Strike. I think Fusion Strike is up for another run again, because I see, as Evolving Skies has just raised up, and it's hit a major wall at 2,500. We've got a seller with 57 booster boxes there. They could always change the price, change the quantity, do whatever they want right now. They're pretty much the master of the Evolving Skies price right now on TCG Player. So I think Fusion Strike's going to start to run up as well. I think all of Sword and Shield is going to start to run up, but Fusion Strike is probably going to have another strong run. So obviously that would put one of the best ROI machines we've seen in this bull market back on the buy list, as it's been kind of stagnant for a while. The Fusion Strike Pokemon Center Elite Trainer box. Yeah, we're getting real rare on this thing again too. Down to 26. And I was checking the other day, it was 33. The price hasn't gone up, but the supply has definitely gone down. In fact, wow. Is that 362? No, it was in the 360s. I'm confusing the last ETB price with this. Go to 375 after 3 sales. Looks like we get to 400 fairly quick within 5 sales or so. That all depends on if new supply comes online, but again, there's not many of these out there. They're going to begin to dry up, just like Paldean Fates. Astral Radiance. I might be putting 2 in this portfolio. I think I'm just going to stick with 1 when we go to the portfolio. It's back up to 130 level. It's been hopping around between 125 and 135. Unfortunately, I bought mine at 135. 26. Sorry guys, my eyes are getting worse. Don't get old. 26 on the market. Let's see how price trajectory looks after sales. So we get a 130, a couple at 130, 31. So there's like 6 or 7 or so, more like 10 before we start to see some decent price action to get up to 150. But if the Astral Radiance booster box goes on a run, I mean, these are just definitely to fall right behind in line. Just like, that's kind of the reason I was able to make that Fusion Strike call so easy. I mean, I just saw it. I was, it was a crazy call to put a 30-day timeline on it, but I exceeded it. For a little bit, I didn't think I was going to make it, but those last couple of days, shot from 275 to 330. So it was on the 30th day, we got the 330, broke 300 and went to 330. So pretty good. Ballsy call, especially for being real new in the Pokemon market. Sorry, guys, I'm going to be talking about that call for a long time. I mean, that's an amazing call. It really is. I really hate to brag like that, but I mean, I'd be impressed with anybody who would do something like that. So let's go over to Brilliant Stars. This is definitely an ETB, a PC ETB that I think you should have two of in the portfolio. I am making a trade. So I made one of my first calls ever was a Chilling Reign booster box to buy at 320. And prices are roughly now 400. There's been a little price action on Chilling Reign. I still think it's going to go up. I just think Brilliant Stars is going to exceed the gains, and plus, I worked out a trade where I'm getting 3 PC ETBs for the price of that Chilling Reign booster box, and I'll take a PC ETB over booster box any day. You'll say, hey, a lot of influencers say, oh, booster box are king, blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry, the collectability just isn't there. And the numbers, the sheer numbers of supply are just so much lower. Plus, if I see somebody with a display, if they're a nobody, they got ETBs or PC ETBs, like stacked up at home. If they're an influencer, they got booster boxes behind them or cases behind them. Kind of tells me that the root is at the ETB for collectability. For investability, I'd be rather in the items that are in the root of collectability, not what is perceived as the root investability. Because we cannot invest without the collector first. The collector makes the investor. The collector makes the investment. Without the collector, we all die. So I think that's lost on some investors' mind. But anyway, back to Brilliant Stars. Been hopping around between 155 and 160. And we're been hopping around the low 40s in supply. Still at 41. Let's check some of the volume. I know that I've seen price changes like every couple of days, so I know there's sales going on. Yeah, there's a couple sold today. One sold yesterday. 2 sold a couple like on the 20th. One sold. So it's every couple of days we're selling a few here and there. Ooh, I just refreshed it. Lost my track. Oh, Journey Together we're not looking at. Oh yeah, so that was basically all the Sword and Shield I wanted to look at. So a little preview of the portfolio. We'd have all 4 of those ETBs, 3 of them being PC ETBs in there, and I'm going to recommend 2 Brilliant Stars. Luckily, since I've made the calls on all those, Brilliant Stars and Astral Radiance have been up and down. And now that I'm making a new call on Evolving Skies and the Fusion Strike PC ETB, that's if you never got in the first place, now might be a good time to get in. That Evolving Skies ETB is primed to pump just because the Evolving Skies booster box already has. And I think it was undervalued to begin with. It should have been 400, and I think it should be 500 now. And the Fusion Strike Pokemon Center ETB, I just think Fusion Strike's going to have another big run. And, that Fusion Strike PC ETB is going to show some of the same thing. All right, guys. Just wanted to get out there, talk a little bit about Sword and Shield and some of the picks coming up for the portfolio. Have a good one.